Okay, so you're deciding where to build your factory. On paper, this looks like the easiest math in business. Chinese manufacturing labor costs roughly $6 to $7 an hour. American labor costs $25 to $30 an hour, 4 to 5 times the cost before you've made a single unit. Case closed, right? Except that number is doing a lot less work than it used to, and the reason why is the actual story. Start with what that labor gap used to buy you. Cheap labor plus Section 301 tariffs that now add anywhere from 7.5% to 25% on top of Chinese goods landed in the U.S., plus 6 weeks of ocean shipping, plus the working capital tied up in 3 months of inventory floating on a container ship, plus the intellectual property risk of handing your designs to an overseas factory. Add all of that up, and the labor cost gap narrows fast once you account for it properly. It hasn't disappeared, but it's a very different number than the sticker price suggests. Here's what actually decides the calculation, according to the people who run this math for a living. A 2025 survey of 500 U.S. manufacturers found that a stronger domestic skilled workforce would bring back 30% of offshore production, more than tariffs, a weaker dollar, or lower corporate taxes combined. Tariffs at 15% only move the number by 23%. A weaker dollar, 21%. Tax cuts, just 18%. 56% of manufacturers say the real bottleneck is finding and keeping skilled workers, not the price of labor itself. You can watch that exact problem play out in real time at TSMC's new chip fab in Arizona, a $165 billion complex built specifically to reshore advanced semiconductor manufacturing to American soil. The company hit real trouble immediately. Construction delays, workforce development challenges, and cost overruns pushed the first fab's opening back by roughly a year, largely because the U.S. simply didn't have enough workers trained in advanced chip fabrication. TSMC's own founder warned that chip costs at the Arizona site could run 50% to 100% higher than the same process in Taiwan. That's the honest cost of reshoring a hyper-specialized industry. You're not just paying higher wages, you're rebuilding an entire ecosystem of suppliers and trained technicians from nothing. And yet, here's the twist that makes this genuinely interesting rather than a simple cautionary tale. Once the Arizona fab actually got running, its yield rates ended up exceeding comparable fabs back in Taiwan by about 4 percentage points. The expensive, painful multi-year process of building the workforce and supply chain actually worked. It just cost far more and took far longer than the sticker price labor comparison ever suggested it would. That's really the honest picture of this whole decision. It's not a story where one country simply wins. Tariffs have made China meaningfully more expensive to manufacture in, but not expensive enough to make U.S. manufacturing the automatic answer for most products. Meanwhile, Mexico has quietly captured a large share of the manufacturing that left China, without any of the reshoring premium the U.S. pays for skilled labor and infrastructure. The real lesson isn't China versus America. It's that manufacturing location is a multivariable equation. Labor, tariffs, shipping, workforce skill, supply chain maturity, and whichever country wins your factory is whichever one solves the most expensive variable first.